Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. It's the Locker Room Eagles pregame show.
The pregame to the pregame.
The pregame to the pregame, and the PT is in here with the pregame. Looking, and I like your colors.
Thank you.
I like, although that shirt's a little off.
I feel the match is pretty darn good, all things considered. You're saying it's slightly different?
It's a little bit off, but you know what, Pete? I like the effort.
So am I.
I like the effort. The hat.
You're saying it's a little off. So am I.
So listen, I got the. What would you call my shirt? Kelly green?
No, I'd call it puke. Your shirt is gross.
Come on, man! It's Eagles Sunday.
I kicked your ass as far as Taylor cut. First of all, I'm supporting the ShopRite LPGA, and secondly, I think this is a pretty good match.
All right, Pete, and we are on the StreamYard today, and we're on
sort of. A minute ago, your mouth was like this.
Well, I was frozen.
All
right, we're doing the freeze again. It looks like, or what?
Fingers crossed. All right.
So
you're working now.
So PT, man, you came in yesterday. You're working double duty, giving Josh a day off yesterday. I appreciate that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm tired of you already. I mean, for the 2 minutes into the show, I'm like, this sucks.
You started chirping at me already, man.
Well, that's sort of my shtick. I love you, but the truth of it is that. This 7 days. Well, I can't even complain about that, to be honest, though, because school was out Thursday and Friday. But see, that 99 bottles thing we did over at Vagabond, and thanks to all the folks over there, man, it was that was epic. I mean, that place was packed. So I feel like I haven't truly rested. Maybe Thursday to Friday or whatever. Hey, Billy, before we get going and so deep into the Eagle stuff,
sure,
would you allow me a minute to mention the passing of Dick Ireland? I don't know if you know who Dick Ireland was, but he was a radio legend, if you will, down here in the South Jersey community. When I was over at TV 40, I want to say that it was like Access One Radio at one point, and then it was something else. And, it's sure, they're the competition, but the reality is that if you're in radio down here, especially in Atlantic County and in South Jersey, everybody knows everybody. And Dick Ireland passed away yesterday, and my condolences to his family and everybody that worked under him. Mike Gill worked under Dick Ireland at one point, and I texted Mike Gill, and he said, sad to hear. The guy was around for a long, long time. And what's funny, the story that I'll tell, and then we'll move on to the happier stuff, but the story that I'll tell is that after he'd gotten out of radio and he's kind of basically finally retired, they had him as one of the starters at the ShopRite LPGA Classic. They had a guy on the first tee and a guy on the 10th tee, and their job was to read, and now from Carlsbad, California, Brittany Lincecum, right? And that's an easy one, because you have a lot of the Asian players on the tour. Their names are tough to pronounce and whatnot, right? So I'm up there shooting video, and Dick Ireland is doing the announcements, right? He's introducing all the groups as they come. And some Yahoo kind of, I'd compare him to you, right? Some Yahoo loudly says like, hey, Pete, like, why aren't you doing these announcements? You should be doing instead of this guy, right? He kind of thumbs his thumb. And I said, sir, Dick Ireland was in radio before you were probably born. I said, I think he's got this. He's just fine. And Dick, man, his face lit up, and he was so pleased that I validated and backed him up. And he hired a lot of people in local radio down here. So rest in peace, Dick Ireland. And just wanted to give a shout out at the top of the show and say that we're all sorry to see that he passed. All right, happier stuff.
All right, happier stuff, Pete. And speaking of happier stuff, yesterday, how about the plethora of college rivalry games yesterday? Watching Penn State in the snow and Michigan and Ohio State with the snow flurries blowing. I had a nice fire in my fireplace.
Let's see if I can.
I was in front of the TV all evening and even got the Sixers in.
Let's see if I can quote this again, right? Where does he write? My buddy wrote to me last night and said, Who does James Franklin have pictures of? A new 10-year deal based on a 7-win season again? Yeah, the Penn State comes up short again. And not for nothing, this same guy wrote to me and said, am I missing something about Hector Neris? How is the market for him hot? How bad is the pitching out there? Now, I wrote good riddance on Twitter.
Right.
And Gil kind of came over the top on me and and retweeted a Corey Seidman tweet that said, if the Phillies signed a reliever tomorrow who had a 3.46 ERA, a 2.05 opponent batting average, 11.8 Ks over 9 innings,
think it was a good sign?
You'd be like, hey, this is a great signing, And Corey's point was that Hector Neris, whose worst moments here were always amplified,
sure,
understandably so. I mean, that's the thing.
If I were Hector Neris, I'd want to get out of here too. I'd like to get a change of scenery.
Yeah, well,
I mean, bad memories here.
Sure, he's going to a bunch of former cheaters, but right? It's you know what Hector Neris is doing, Billy? I got this teed up for you. You ready? You know what he's doing?
What's he doing?
Steve Miller Band. Now go ahead and ask me why.
Why?
Oh, take the money and run.
Well, if I were Hector, I'd be gone too. And you know what? His numbers look good, but in the reality, he blew a lot of games for us.
He did in that closing role. He did, and the reality to me is that, and this is what I thought is that I understand and kudos to Corey for trying to defend him, but to me, you can sum up Hector Neris's Phillies career as his best moments came when they never were needed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
He was really good when the spotlight wasn't necessarily white hot. But now here's the thing, Billy. You and I both know, right? We're Philly fans for life, right?
Absolutely.
What's going to happen?
Neris is
going to go to the Astros. He's going to be the damn reliever,
out.
right? The Rollins reliever of the year. He's going to tear us up. I mean, you just
exactly
can't win.
That's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
How about a shout out to Jimmy Rollins in the big piece?
What about him?
Well, they're nominated, going to be on the Hall of Fame ballot? Or,
they're on the Hall of Fame ballot, but Dick Allen better get in. That's the thing that I keep seeing on my social media feed.
He's that's a shame because we were actually, it's sad that he passed and he might not ever, he's not going to be able to see it.
That's why they put his number up like that. Like John Middleton may be rich, but he's also not stupid. He was like, look, if we don't put him on the Phillies Wall of Famer, and you know what they did? They didn't put him on a Wall of Fame per se, as much as they did that thing for him and Halladay where they did the number in the circle, and sort of retired his number for good.
Dick Allen. I was this close to getting Dick Allen on the show.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I'm friendly with Rich Ashburn Jr.
Oh, okay.
And Richie comes down here with his baseball tournament or baseball camp for youth baseball camp every summer. And I had an opportunity. I had Richie Ashburn Jr. on my show, and through Rich, we were going to get him on, and then lo and behold, Dick passed. It was pretty sad.
Yeah. Well, Carfagno is the guy. Froggy. I mean, his name's Mark Carfagno, but he was on the grounds crew at the old Veterans Stadium, and he's sort of been a one-man wrecking ball, if you will, to sort of champion the crusade of getting Dick Allen in. So hopefully, when this all comes out. But yeah, you're right. Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, both in there. See you, Hector Neris. Look, I'm not backing off my tweet. Somebody came back at me and said, bad take. That's all the person wrote. Bad take. Dude, I'm entitled in my opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion, Pete. And here's another thing to talk about real quick. Let's get all the stuff out of the way before we turn our attention to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Somewhere Gil just said, well, about time you had one.
So listen, the Sixers lose in double overtime last night.
Oh, yeah.
They had an opportunity. They had the ball. They took the ball down the court 5 times in a row in the first overtime and came up empty.
5 times in a row and they came up empty.
Yeah. They had the ball and they just couldn't score. They couldn't put them away.
I got to tell you, I didn't watch a lot of it because I was watching the third part of the Beatles documentary. So I watched enough. Listen, I watched enough of like the pregame show in opening warmups to see them, like Amy Fadul's like, yep, Joel Embiid's going to play. Then, I'm scrolling through my social media and I see that Gil and his lovely family are in a suite, right? So they're set up, right? So, okay, Gil's there representing 97.3, but as a fan, right? And then I'm seeing other pictures and I start watching the thing and I figure well, I'll get an update, So the Beatles thing gets done. I'm sad because there's no more Beatles stuff for me. Right. And I look and it's like end of regulation going to overtime.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I might as well turn this on. I turned it on and I was, look, they didn't win.
You jinxed them.
Oh, yeah. So it's my fault. It's my fault.
All right. Hey, we got the Eagles and the Giants today. Do you realize, Pete, that the Eagles and the Giants have met 176 times? Well, do you know what the tally is? Do you have any idea what that
between the Eagles and Giants?
Don't look on your. I'm
already looking. I mean, what do you want me to do? That's where you got it from. Don't act like you're some impressive.
No, I was at that
stats guy or something like that.
Guess what? Because I was surprised. If you were to ask me before I looked what the tally is, the overall record, I would say that the Giants would be way ahead.
It's close, right?
It's 86. The Giants have won 86 games. The Eagles have won 88 games.
Okay.
And there's been 2 ties, and that counts postseason as well.
By the way, I wasn't able to find it in time, so I just sort of goosed the answer out of you. But I'm going to stop sending you this stuff if you're going to quiz me and then yell at me for looking at the answer.
I'm not. Well, I can see that, you're starting to look, I can
of course I am starting to look. Eye. That's exactly the same way you found it.
So let's open up the phone lines today. Let's open up the text board.
Somebody was already calling.
Let's get people. I want to get the fans listeners' reaction. I want to hear their thoughts.
Are you paying me extra today? Because if I have to do all this stuff and answer the phone, you better be paying me extra.
609-403-0973 is the text board. 609-403-0973. Text us any thoughts you may have about the Eagles moving forward, or you can give us a call at 609-573-3776 is the phone number. 609-573-3776 is the phone number. We have a great show lined up today. On the other side, we'll be talking with Scott Grayson, Fox 29 News sports anchor, 97.3 ESPN.com. We'll get Grayson's takes, latest news and notes. And then, of course, in hour 2, we have the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Stell Exteriors. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard about New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on your house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return.
Hang on a second. Let's try this, because this will help me test to see if the phone lines are working. Jim in Summers Point. Jim, you're on the air. Hey, Jim, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Pete, how you doing this morning, Pete?
I'm doing good.
How you doing?
How you doing, Jim?
Doing good. Eagles good one, 35 to 10.
35 to 10 Eagles today?
Yeah.
How about that?
All right, sounds good, Jim. Hey, and we squeezed you in right before Grayson. We appreciate that. Go Birds.
All right.
Definitely.
Thanks, Jim. When we return, we'll talk with Scott Grayson. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, Eagles Sunday. Eagles head north to play the New York Football Giants. And, of course, Pete, over the years, man, the Eagles have really broken the hearts of the Giants, haven't they?
We were talking about that in the break a lot, about different plays. We got a few of them queued up. We'll hit those throughout the show. Brian Westbrook. Well, let's go to the beginning, right? Herm Edwards, right? That's the beginning.
Right.
So Herm Edwards was first, right? Then you had Brian Westbrook. Then you had Deshaun,
Jackson.
Right? And then, and I had forgotten about this, but yeah, Jake Elliott in a 61-yard field goal. So there's been a lot of Eagles-Giants games that have come down to the wire, and a lot of them have ended up for the EAGLES. So let's hope that continues.
On that long field goal by Elliott, I had left the stadium.
What a loser!
You believe that?
Yep.
I was like walking down the steps when they
never leave early, man. Never leave early. Look, all you're doing, even if you stay in your seat and you're getting blown out, or you think they're going to lose, all you're doing is you're not beating traffic, right?
We were heading over to Xfinity, so
I see. You were already sauced up. Well, here's a guy that's not sauced up, right? And then he's on the Maserati, the mainline hotline. You want to try that
Maserati, the mainline sports hotline. Let's welcome in from 97.3 ESPN.com.
Does he get a Maserati?
Fox News sports anchor Scott Grayson.
That would be great.
Where do you put the baby seats in the Maserati?
You don't. That's your fun car.
All right, Scott Grayson, how you doing, man? It's a Thanksgiving Sunday. A lot of great football over the weekend, and of course, the Eagles-Giants game. We're getting revved up for that. There's some history. I mentioned this before you came on. The Eagles and the Giants have met 176 times. Giants have 85 wins or 86 wins, and the Eagles have 88. I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes a rivalry, right? You got to win some and lose some occasionally in order for a rivalry to exist. It's been a lot of fun. It has been fun. It's great that they play twice a year. This is what this is supposed to be about. And I like that lately they've been stacking these games more towards the end of the year, where you could end up with some extra meaning. Obviously, there's not as much meaning for the Giants right now as there is for the Eagles. But anytime you get these division games, these rivalry games, you really do have to take a lot of what you think about these teams and throw it out the window.
We yesterday we had former Giant, 3-time Super Bowl champion Bart Oates on the program, and Bart was talking about the hatred they have between the two teams.
Yeah, it's funny. It's there's some of these teams hate other teams in the division more than they hate them, but I think it all depends on what took place when that player was there, right? What was the rivalry like when they were there? So in some cases, you'll hear some players say, Washington was more of the rivalry. That's back, obviously, in the 80s and that kind of thing. The Giants, I think, has always been a good one. Obviously, the Cowboys has been a bitter one. And I think that's what makes it fun. So, yeah, there's a little extra that goes into it with these players. And, look, this is Nick Sirianni's first time in this. So let's I'm kind of curious to see what did he do to try to get familiar with this rivalry, and what will it be like for him when he walks out on the field and experiences it for the first time. So far, he's only had one division game, and that went awful against the Cowboys down in Dallas earlier in the season.
And, of course, last year, we know how the season ended, where the Eagles were accused of, just tanking, if you will. And the Giants, I think they've put that in their crawl, and they're remembering that.
Yeah, I don't think they've forgotten that. You're right, especially Joe Judge, because he, for a normally sustained guy who's pretty calm and even keel, he was really angry last year when that happened. I think that certainly that'll be in the back of everybody's minds as this game gets on. And as the players tend to say, once a game kicks off, it's football, and you kind of go at it and you just try to play the game. But we'll see how it goes. Like you guys said, there's been so many memorable moments in this series history. Who knows what we might see today?
Scott Grayson's with us on the Maserati of the Mainline hotline. How did I do there, Billy?
Boy.
All right, so Scott, the injury report, Jordan Howard is out for this one. How is that going to affect the Eagles? And it looks like Tay Gowan's questionable, but Darius Slay's probably going to play.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly hurts because Jordan Howard has been very efficient. He's been productive every time he gets his hands on the ball. And What it means is you're going to get more of Boston Scott. Miles Sanders obviously is your feature guy. But more Boston Scott's not a bad thing, especially against the Giants. In these last few games against the Giants, he has, 5 or 6 touchdowns, something like that. He's been very productive. They've had trouble with him. So I don't know that this is necessarily certainly you'd rather have him than not. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I think they're well equipped to manage without him anyway. And look, you're going to get Kenny Gainwell some more time. Now you have your third down back, available again. And I think that's, I think they're going to be just fine without him in this game. And they'll still, devote a lot of attention to the run. I think you're going to get a decent amount of Miles Sanders, Boston Scott here. And Kenny Gainwell comes in third down and gives you that bit of a threat out of the backfield as well.
How about the way that line has solidified itself? Obviously Mailata, Dickerson, Kelsey, Jack Driscoll, and then Lane Johnson, right? I mean, the one headline I saw said paving the lane.
Yeah, they have been dominant. There's no other way to say it. They've just been dominant. Landon Dickerson, I continue to say that as much as it pains me to give Howie credit, that was a great pick. He's played very, very well. Doesn't even look like a rookie much anymore. And that's a great thing. Look at that. You weren't even expecting to play him. And because of injuries, he's had to be thrust in there and done well. Jack Driscoll's done well in relief. Jordan Mailata has been fun to watch. I mean, the way Mailata can, especially in run blocking, just totally throw guys out of the way is it's enjoyable.
And Grayson, you know what I really loved about Jordan Mailata? I'm glad you brought that up. How about the way he stuck up for his quarterback last week? I mean, listen, that's what you need. That's called chemistry right there. And the guys, they know, they see that.
Yeah, and the thing with Jordan Mailata that impressed me with that is if you ever go up and talk to him, he is every bit of a huge man. And he looks it. But he is like a gentle butterfly when you talk to him. Like, I mean, he is calm. He is, very gentle.
He's soft-spoken, isn't he?
He is. And he is very soft-spoken. That's a good way to put it. And then when you see him get fired up on the field, it's like, whoa, that is a man.
I love that, Grayson. I was like, I love that, man. That was nuts. Hey, speaking of the ground game, you guys hit the nail right on the head, and I'm looking at some stats here. The Eagles have rushed for 175 yards plus in 4 consecutive games for the first time since 1950, Scott. Yeah, Philadelphia has also recorded 200 plus yards in back-to-back games for the first time since 1978. Talk about offensive line domination.
Yeah, it's been you have not seen that. I mean, we have not seen this on a consistent basis, like you said, in a long time. And it's not traditional NFL football right now, right? So it's kind of interesting and different to see. And quite frankly, I mean, they're just taking the will away from their opponents. You keep dominating them on the ground like that. You keep beating them on the line. And you have seen these opposing defensive lines just sucking wind at the end of a game. I mean, they are out of gas. And that's been big because then you get Jalen Hurts breaking through and he's able to make these guys look bad with, as we saw last week, with the way he planted his foot and totally shook off a defender. And that was a highlight play. I just think that there's no reason to go away from it. If Nick Sirianni ever does go away from the run at the way it's going right now, I think this town will totally crush him. Right now, you're beating everybody. You're winning time of possession. Yeah. You're forcing the opponent to play from behind. You are giving your defense a break. You're also, and this is a big key as to why the offense has been successful, there have been very few offensive penalties lately. So they're not setting themselves back. They're
don't jinx us.
Yeah, right. You can blame me for that if it happens today. So I mean, it's just it has been dominating, and the offensive line's a big key.
We're talking with Scott Grayson, Fox 29 News sports anchor. Catch him on Sports Sunday on Fox 29. Catch him every Monday on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill for Grayson's Grades on 97.3 ESPN.com as well. Scott, real quick question for you. Is Jalen Hurts your guy moving forward?
I'm willing to say at this point he's my guy for next year. Like, I think this needs to be a two-step process. It needs to be okay, we're willing to go into next year with this guy. And let's see, because you don't need to pay him yet. You don't need to anoint him the franchise quarterback yet. You can say, let's build a little more around him and let's give him a whole nother year and a full off season. And let's see, is this our guy? And go from there, because then if he comes out next year, I think next year you say, hey, Is he our franchise guy?
Right.
And if that's
nice,
if that's the answer, you make that step forward then. But I think he's where you say he's my guy, and I don't need to use these 3 first-round picks to do anything different at that position. Now, there is the chance that he has certainly increased his trade value, and if you decide you want to go elsewhere, now you don't need to give up maybe all 3 draft picks in the first round to get that quarterback. You throw in Jalen. You add a couple. I'm not saying I advocated that at all. I like what this guy has done. I like how he's performed in the fourth quarter in crunch time. I like his leadership. I like his mentality around his teammates. I think he's won over that locker room. I think if you take him out of that situation, you risk fracturing all of that. And I am not advocating that in any way. He's my guy for next year.
And of course, another stat that's very huge. The Philadelphia Eagles have scored the fourth most points off of turnovers in the NFL since Week 8, behind New England 40, Tennessee 38, Indianapolis 35. That is a key statistic because, like you just alluded to, the offense is dominating the line of scrimmage. They're keeping the ball, time of possession, giving the defense time to rest. They're able to make big plays.
They are, and that has been huge. Look, Darius Slay has scored 14 of those, or 12 of those points that you mentioned on pick sixes in consecutive weeks. Can you make it 3 weeks in a row here? I think they're going to force some turnovers today. I really do. I think that they've been playing a lot more aggressive. Their blitzes have been more disguised. I think Jonathan Gannon has been doing a much better job in calling a defensive game. Daniel Jones, to me, in no way strikes fear in my heart at all. To me, I think you just need to continue to go after these guys, go after him, make him, force him to make mistakes like you did Simeon when you played the Saints. And I think this team could be well on their way to another big win. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a close one today. And I think the defense has every bit, the role to play in that as much as the offense.
All right, Scotty Grayson, last week you hit the nail right on the head. You had the Eagles 27-14. What say you this week, Scott?
Like I said, I don't see this one being, I hate saying this because these rivalry games and these division games always tend to be a little close. So I feel like I'm going to mess this up. But I just don't see this game, the more I look at it, being a close game. I think the Eagles win this one 31-13.
Oh, my God. 31-13. That's so close to my pick.
Wow.
Are you
brilliant minds think alike?
Go ahead, Grayson.
Every week we get close. I think they're going to set the tone with the ground game. I think the defense is going to force mistakes. The game gets out of hand. And this week, I just don't want to see Nick get conservative in the fourth quarter, at least not until, halfway through.
Just real quick, I think it's so funny, too, because there's so many other factors. They got rid of Jason Garrett. That was Daniel Jones's advocate. Who's going to call the plays? Probably Freddie Kitchens. They're honoring Michael Strahan. So on one hand, you go, they're going to be fired up. The reality is that the Giants stink when they honor people. Look what happened when they honored Eli Manning. They got blown out by the Chargers, right? So, forget about it. All that stuff. At the end of the day, I have a wide margin, too. I'll tell mine later. But, Grayson, we are close, man. Okay.
Big key to me, though, really is I want to see them get out to a good start, take the will away from the Giants early. The more you let them hang in the game, the more they're going to start thinking they can knock you off. And I just think that's a big key. Come out early, fire, dominate the game early, take the will away from the Giants. So the first quarter is going to be important to me.
All right, Scotty Grayson, we really appreciate it. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family, and we look forward to seeing you tonight on Sports Sunday, Fox 29 News, and to catch you tomorrow with Mike Gill for Grayson's Grades on the Sports Bash. Thanks, Scott.
All right, thanks, guys. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, too.
There he is, Scott Grayson on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. I want to remind people the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, with the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Hey, the locker room in Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day meal.
$5
during the Eagles season on game day, which is today. Get down to Blitz's Market for your $5 Italian hoagie when you mention the locker room. Get the Blitzes all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Blitzes now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com, or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitzes is home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Hey, listen, friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a focused co-branding experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli mid-size sedan, the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Eagles talk here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Oh, I got to tell you, Pete, man, I remember that. I was in high school.
How great is that, right?
That was awesome.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's like,
don't believe
it's like
it.
Jack Buck. I don't believe what I just saw, except it's our version of Jack Buck.
All right, let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room a good buddy of the show. He's a big football fan, a big Eagles fan. Let's welcome into the locker room Mark Grimes. What's up, Grimesy?
What's up, gentlemen? Happy belated Thanksgiving to you. Hopefully you had a great time with your families.
Yeah, man, it was good. Did you have that? You had the big tent? You had the big Grimesy get-together over there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Had about 35 people. It was a special day.
Grimesy. Now, Mark, at the beginning of the year, what was your prediction for the Birds?
Oh,
do you remember?
Great question. I don't think you guys ever got.
We never got to that.
But I'll go back. I'll go back. If I had to guess, I'm not going off the past two games because they're playing. I'm going to go. I have to go on record and say I'm going to take back what I said about the coach and what I said about Hurts. I'm starting to go on the other side because the first four games they had me literally saying, "All right, we got to start fresh." But hey, I'll say 500. You know what I mean? And I know there's 17 games,
right.
So
9
and 8, 8 and 9, somewhere in that range.
Well, how much difference does a couple weeks make?
I think I had 7 and 10. By the way, Billy, I just want to throw that in there.
I had 8 and 9
because yesterday I said 7 and 9, and Quast pointed out that my math was wrong. I mean, he went to Iowa, so he knew that. He said,
Hey.
"You Temple guys, you can't add."
Yo, if Quas is correcting you, you got issues.
You're 100% right. You're so right.
I'm teasing. Quas is a good guy. He's a great guy, actually.
Now,
hey,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Grimesy, is Hurts your guy? I mean, let's face it. A lot of people were on the fence. Some people say there's no way he doesn't have the arm strength. But look what he's turned in a performance over the last four. The Eagles have won 3 of their last 4 games, and he's only attempting 18 to 25 passes a game. He's doing it. He's doing enough to win.
Hey, the jury's still out, but if you go off the past 2 games, he's playing better than Tua. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
He's playing better than Tua. Hey, here's my prediction. This is I did a little math here, so you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
Me especially.
All right. Yeah, you especially. So I did the averages. Eagles are averaging 25.7 points a game. Giants are 18.9. to 3.5 point spread today. I'm going to go 27-20 Eagles. 27-20 today.
27-20 Philadelphia Eagles.
Not bad.
All right, Right now, Brad Quast has the Eagles 28-17. Scott Grayson, Eagles 31-13. Mike Carlin, Eagles 31-13. And Mark Grimes, Eagles 27-20. I like it, Grimesy.
Yeah, the only reason I'm not going blowout is it's up there. If it was at the Eagles, home Eagles, I would say maybe go a little bit more. I'm going to say the Eagles. I'm going to say the crowd, New York Giants crowd is behind them a little bit. But Daniel Jones, listen, he's just not their guy.
And he lost his advocate. He lost his advocate, Grimesy. Jason Garrett and he were very, very close. A couple quarterbacks, right, sharing the film room together and talking like in a language that they each understand. Now, I guess, Joe Judge hasn't revealed who's going to call the plays. He says he doesn't want to give a competitive advantage. Whatever, Joe. The end of the day, it's probably going to be Freddie Kitchens, who was the Cleveland coach that got bounced, right? So I don't know if Freddie look, there's only so much you can polish a you-know-what, right? And that's what the Giants are right now. But that said, these things are close. Billy, don't you want to throw out your stat again about the all-time record?
What, for the
Eagles
Giants?
And Giants.
186 meetings. The Giants have 86 wins. The Eagles have 88, Grimes. It's really close.
Wow.
The rivalry.
Wow. Well, hey, yeah, that is. That's pretty. That's almost
right. By the way, Grimes, I heard that the Giants fans are selling their tickets left and right. It's going to be all Eagles green up there.
Well, it's funny you said that. I was thinking that, and then how ironic they play there again next week. Versus the Jets, so and they're probably going to be 2 more home games.
Plenty of seats for that Jets game. The only thing I think that they're probably selling tickets, but the only reason I think that maybe they would go is for that Strahan ceremony.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you're Big Blue, if you're Giants through and through, and I don't know what's wrong with you. You got to get your head examined if you are. But if you are, I would think that you'd want to see Strahan go in.
I would agree, but I think we're just going to name that stadium for the next 2 weeks Lincoln Financial North.
All right, Grimesy, man. Listen, we really appreciate it. And let's go Birds, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, gentlemen.
There he is,
Take care,
Mark
Mark.
Grimes on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. I like we got 5 predictions already. Everybody's picking the Birds.
Yeah, I just texted Gil because I forgot to ask him what his prediction was. And I know that he was at the Sixers game last night, so he probably maybe had one too many IPAs. He's probably sleeping in a little bit on the
How about this for a stat? Devontae Smith is the first player in Eagles history to record 650-plus receiving yards and 4 TDs in their first 11 career games.
Oh, yeah. Well, right under it's the one that gets my attention, and Scott Grayson talked about it. The fact that Darius Slay has become big play Slay. I mean, only the second time in the team history that he's had 3 defensive touchdowns in a season, joining the great Eric Allen in 1993. So, look, Darius Slay, I was on the fence about him, and I'll tell you what, the guy straight up, yes, Daniel Jones, throw it his way because that could end up with 6 points for us.
Hey, the locker room at Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day meal. Get over to Blitz's during the Eagles season. On game day, get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Get down to Blitz's all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitz's is home of the Dill Pickle Hoagie. It's really a big deal. Hey, the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. Call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. Hey, the text board is open, 609-403-0973. Send us your thoughts about the Eagles-Giants game today, 609-403-0973 is the text board. And if you want to call us today, 609-573-3776 is the phone number. Let's get it going for the Birds today. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
I love that you can't stop laughing. Welcome back to the locker room here on 97.3 ESPN. That's Billy Schweim chuckling over there.
But did you hear the crowd noise in the background?
Yeah, it was all Eagles, and they cut immediately to, listen to that. That's Chris Collinsworth. They cut immediately to
was that Dick Stockton?
Yeah, Dick Stockton.
We had him on the show.
Thank God he's done.
You didn't like Dick Stockton?
No.
His voice is iconic, man.
I don't care about his voice. I care if he can describe the play accurately.
Well, but in his heyday, he was fine.
Okay, well then, all good Cowboys know when to go off the pasture.
All right, well,
get out, man.
Look, man, I had him on my show. I can't have you rip him.
Yes, I can rip him. I'm entitled to my opinion. So here's the thing. That was Dick Stockton and Chris Collinsworth on the call on Fox Sports. And, they immediately cut as Westbrook's running up the sideline. They immediately cut to Jim Fossil. Remember Jim Fossil?
Remember that look?
And he's just got that look like son of a biscuit. I can't believe that happened. Meanwhile, Andy's like excited, for once he actually had a pulse. I was in Omaha for that. And it was way before, like, you basically had NFL Sunday Ticket in its
right.
You didn't have Scott Hansen in Red Zone. You didn't have any of that stuff. So I was at some bar that had some satellite that sort of spun around on the old C-band and found it. And we were literally, it wasn't even like a packed bar. I think it was like a Chinese restaurant that had a little side bar. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. So me and my buddy Mike Sigmund were the only two people at this thing because he says, I know the owner. I'll pay him to like just change it to the game that we want. So on like a little 4x3 TV, like no bigger than the monitor you're looking at over there, right? We're huddled, like we're sitting at this little 8-seat bar watching this. And I said, I can't watch, right? Well, when Westbrook took it back, we ran through the empty restaurant like we were doing laps, and then Sigmund jumped in my arms because he's a wee little man. He's just a tiny guy. But yeah, that's where I was when Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, but Fossil I always had it. But who was the other coach? He even looked.
Tom Coughlin.
Coughlin was even with his.
Well, we're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get there, but he always had that look of.
I even know the punter because that was
frustration.
That was Brad Wing was the punter. I don't know why I remember that, but
because he ran out, for when
that was when Tom that play was they look.
How did you kick it to him?
Westbrook, they had to kick to, right? It would be based on the time on the clock and all that stuff. They did not have to kick it to Deshaun, and that's why Tom Coughlin was so ticked off. We're getting some
609-403-0973 is the text board.
What was that number again?
609-403-0973.
Okay, here we go. So, hey, Billy, PT, today is the day that Joe Judge waited for. His 6-win stinking team didn't make the playoffs last year because of the Birds tanking. Boo-hoo. Eagles 31, Giants 17. Wow. And also, hey, Jerry Jones, don't look over your shoulders. Somebody's coming. Go Birds.
Let's go Birds.
That's Joe D. Nice job, Joe D, for weighing in. Mr. Thompson. Oh, thank you for a few. That's my father, by the way. Right. I am Pete or Pete Thompson or PT. You can even call me Peter. Just don't call me a jerk. Mr. Thompson, thanks for a few minutes for speaking to me at 99 Bottles. Jim from EHT. Jim, you are welcome. Cool. Yeah, man, you got to get out and meet the listeners. Birds win today 35-17, nice. Says Nick from Briggs. So Nick doesn't have it close. I don't have it close. Dan from EHT. Well, today we find out, are the Eagles pretenders or contenders? Yeah. Could have been somebody, Billy. I could have been somebody.
609-403-0973. Keep the text messages coming. Love the enthusiasm. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Go ahead, Pete.
Billy and PT, you always get concerned about interdivisional games with the history, but if Sirianni and company can call a game like they have the last 2 weeks on both sides of the ball, the Birds will take advantage of Daniel Jones without his advocate. Good word there. Without his advocate and a mediocre defense at best. We come out on top 34-17. That's Matt in Delaware. Way to go, Matt.
Way to go, Matt.
And last but not least, because we're going to get more in the break now that you've given out the number again, 609-403-0973 is the number on the text message board. 609-403-0973. Paul from Ocean City says, listen, stay with the recipe from the past few games. The running game should dominate again. The Giants are struggling to cover the tight end. That benefits us. Hello, Dallas Goedert. I'm talking to you. The D needs to contain Jones, not be afraid to blitz time to time. That's a good point right there from Paul from Ocean City, because Jonathan Gannon has been dialing up some blitzes, and that definitely made Simeon off kilter, when they were at home against the Saints. Expect the Giants to make Saquon a big part of the game plan. Yes, Saquon Barkley expected to be back today and playing, but Paul from Ocean City still says Eagles 30, Giants 10. Go Birds!
609-403-0973. How about this little stat for you? The Eagles have recorded takeaways in 8 of their last 9 games for a total of 12. Only Indianapolis has more at 9 with a takeaway in that span. So that's a big stat. The takeaways is you win that battle, Pete, you're going to win the game.
An hour's gone already.
Time flies when you're having fun, Pete. We got the big Eagles game. Eagles-Giants at 1 o'clock with Mike and Merle on the call right here on 97.3 ESPN. You're listening to The Locker with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson. 609-403-0973 is the text board. We're taking
keep those coming,
keep them coming, man. We want to hear from the peeps. 609-403-0973. If you want to give us a phone call, 609-573-3776. On the other side, we're going to hear from the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley will check in. Brought to you by Stella Exteriors. We got all that and more. We got some sound from the coach. We got Pete Thompson. We got Billy Schweim. We got the Eagles-Giants at 1 o'clock. You got the Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
fight, fight, fight. One, two, three.
Eagles! Eagles! We are back here in the locker room for our Eagles pregame show. It's the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN. You know, Pete, it's so funny because in the beginning we were like, should we play this song? Should we not play this song?
We had to take a couple weeks where we didn't play.
It's like when the Flyers bring out Kate Smith. You know what I mean? Like, have to bring it out.
I'm sorry, who? I'm sorry, what? They don't do that no more.
Yeah, I know. But listen, hey, I got to say something, though. How about the eternal optimist? Let's see if we can get in touch with Joe Lenigan.
Oh, okay.
Joe Lenigan, if you're out there, you got to call in because he had the Eagles. Everybody made their predictions this year, and mostly everybody were sub 500. Well, there's no 500, but some, like 7 and 10
was.
8,
I'm
9,
pretty sure that's what I said.
right?
7 and 10.
Not like Joe Lenigan. Joe Lenigan had the Eagles going 12 and 5.
My goodness,
12 and 5.
You should also, as a courtesy, give him the number 609-573-3776.
Joe Lenigan's out there. You got to call us, Joe, because you're looking good right now. 609-573-3776. And also, how about that text board? 609-403-0973 is the text board number. Shoot us a text. Give us your thoughts on the Eagles game today.
Rico from Millville says, my guy Pete, this is Rico. Hi, Rico. I know who you are. With the great zone defense like Temple. Yeah, I know who you are. But he didn't give me a text. Well, I thought he was going to have an Eagles prediction at the end of that. I personally think this game will be over in the first 12 minutes, says Nick from Brigantine. I'm okay with that. Right. Michael from Marlton says, I'm a 99 University of Alabama grad.
Wow.
It's finally great to see Landon, Devontae, and Jalen putting it all together. As a result, the Eagles romp 42-10. Roll Tide. Fly, Eagles, fly.
609-403-0973 is the text board number. Pete, the Giants fans, I mean, you go a little bit north of here. It's all Giants, right?
You don't even have to leave Atlanta County. You can just go out to Tailgaters in Galloway, and Ari's got a picture of Ahmad Bradshaw up on the wall. I mean, there's Giants fans in here. Remember, I started the show by talking about a radio colleague. There's another radio colleague of mine that he's a huge Giants guy. I mean, he bleeds blue, and he's a moron, but he's a huge Giants guy. So I mean, look, God bless him. Right? Do what you do. But at the end of the day, I do not believe that the Giants have enough weapons to pull this off.
Daniel Jones, he's
Did you watch Auburn, Alabama, by the way?
Yes, I did.
24-22.
That was great.
That's a heck of a finish.
I wanted Auburn. My nephew went to Auburn for a semester. His wife, my nephew's wife, she graduated from Auburn. And it's big down there for those guys.
This is why people think that the college overtime is better than the pro overtime. The 4 overtimes, and it just keeps going and going. How many other teams were in the snow, too? Penn State was in the snow.
Michigan, Ohio State. It wasn't laying on the ground, but it was snowing pretty good.
Right.
At a good clip.
Yeah.
609-403-0973 is the text board number. If you want to shoot us a text, give us your thoughts on today's Eagles-Giants game.
I keep running into Matt. I ran into Matt at 99 Bottles, and then I ran into Matt yesterday at the Friendly Deli in Absecon. He says, hey, this is Matt. I'm just giving you my pick. Eagles 34, stinking Giants 6. Catch you later. Thanks, Matt.
609-403-0973 is the text for now.
The one time Lenigan's not listening, or somebody's
Joe
not
Lenigan,
listening.
Call in 609.
He went into the witness protection
573-3776. Joe, we want to hear from you.
Do plumbers work on Sunday? No, right?
Joe's always working. Yeah. Listen, yesterday I talked to you a little bit about this.
Wait, I got something for you.
Okay.
This is like hot off the presses, if you will. And I thought this was worth reading. Okay. Now, how much do you follow NBA on TNT?
Oh, I just watched the Sixers.
All right.
I got to be honest with you.
This guy, Adam Lefko, is like basically he's like the Casey Joyner of NBA on TNT. He's a Philly guy. He's a producer guy. He follows everything, right? They've kind of incorporated him into the act. All right. he put up a story that I guess maybe it's coming from Ian Rappaport originally. It says sources explain this week what it would mean. The Eagles wouldn't need to go after a big name, big time QB, spending valuable draft capital to do it. They wouldn't need Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or any other passer whose name was bandied about in trade rumors last offseason. The search would be over. Hey, if you could get Aaron Rodgers. All right, hang on. The phone's ringing, so you talk.
609-403-0973 is the text board. The phone number is 609-573-3776. Let's hear from the listeners today. Yesterday, there was a by Casey Joyner, the Inquirer. The New York Times came out with their NFL playoff predictor model, and it has the Eagles at a 31% chance of making the playoffs. And the odds decrease a little bit for them to win the division. But you know what? They're trending up, and you look at and we had Brad Quast on here yesterday. He said there's no easy games, Pete.
There really aren't.
There are no easy games. It's the National Football League.
I mean, maybe if you see Jacksonville on the other side, or maybe but like Houston. Hey, the 609-573-3776 is the number to speak to us. 609-403-0973 is the number for the text board. Keep the text coming, definitely. And Kevin from Margate would like to give his score prediction to you on the air, Billy. So,
what's going on, Kevin?
Oop, I have to hit the button. There we go.
Margate Bridge.
What's up, Kevin?
38-13.
Eagles 38. All right.
Giants 13. They're going to romp them.
All right, who gets the game ball?
Who gets the game ball?
Yeah, who gets the game ball?
You know what? Let's go with a defensive player. How about that? Let's go crazy. Let's get a defensive player involved.
You can give two. You can give two. I mean, I feel compelled to mention what Gill's game ball's all. Mike Gill has the Eagles winning 29-19, and he has Devontae Smith and Boston Scott getting offensive game balls, and Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox getting the defensive game balls. But I think if you're going to go defense, for me, if I went defense, I'd go big play Slay. Maybe he continues that trend.
Yeah, he might run one back too. I'm thinking we're going to go 2 weeks in a row where he runs one back. Let's predict that.
That'd be awesome to see.
First half interception, he's going to run one back. How about that?
Big play Slay with Kevin's game ball. All right, Kevin, thanks for the call. 609-573-3776. Joe Lenigan, man. Give us a call, Joe. You're the only one who had the Eagles starting to see when he made his prediction 12-5. I love his enthusiasm. I was ripping him back then, but you know what? Listen, man. If I don't like it.
I feel like we're doing some sort of like charity pledge.
Right, right.
We're just calling out for one donor. Just come in. Let's check the tote board. Let it, go Len again.
Again and again.
Where are you?
How about Tommy Jackson? He's Mr. Optimistic too. Tommy Jackson with Jackson and Sons Electrical.
What about him?
He's been on with his picks lately.
He's the best. He reaches out. Here's another one on the text message board. You got to put your name and town in there too, so we can identify you. Oh no, it's Rico. I'm sorry, it was a second text. Rico says, and he's from Millville, if the Eagles defense gives up 30 points to the Giants, Gannon will be more hated than Ben Simmons. Yeah, you're right. It could be an ugly Monday if that happens. Eagles 31, Little Giants, he said. Little Giants 17. 31-17. Rico, are you reading my sheet? Oh, my God, he stole my pick. That was my pick, too, by the way, but we'll get back to that later.
So look at the Cowboys. Now I'm not.
Oh, dude.
Wait. What?
Yeah, on the way in, I was listening to a national radio show, and they went to break saying, do you think the Cowboys have opened the door?
Well, and we're
looking at you, Philly.
Right. So let's look at the Cowboys schedule. Today at New Orleans.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Washington, at the Giants, Washington, Arizona, and at the Eagles. So, I mean, you look at their schedule, I think New Orleans is in a must-win situation. They lost the other night to the Bills, right?
Yeah, the part that I think that
opened the door for the Eagles.
They didn't just lose to the Bills; they got their doors blown off.
That's right.
Okay, because I have Josh Allen, and I was rooting for that. But yeah, they're at the Saints, at the Washington football team, at the Giants, all these road games, and then home of the Washington. No, here's the tripping point for Dallas is that the day after New Year's they play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals at that point could be way deep into it.
Right.
I mean, look, it's funny to me to sit there and think that at one point when the Eagles were terrible, fans were out there saying, well, the Cowboys are going to rest their starters in week 17, so that's a win. Now, Eagles fans are saying, hey, the Cowboys might be leaking motor oil by the time they come in. We might be able to take this thing.
Oh, man, I'm pumped up. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Send us a text. Give us your opinion on the Birds today. The second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home in the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, experience lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. For more information on how to become a member at this Great Bay Country Club, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. And, of course, when you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for us. They do a great job. Hey, my Winter Watchdog, have you heard about New Jersey's premier vacant home management service? My Winter Watchdog? Listen, you know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869, or send Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. What a great concept. She has the woman's touch, right?
There you go.
The woman's touch. All right.
It's, look, concept of male or female. It's a great concept, and it's a good business.
Yes. All right. When we return, it's the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Stell Exteriors. When we return, because you're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. How about Mike Quick, number 2? He was pumped.
Eagles come back from 21 down with 7:45 left in the game to defeat the Giants on that last play. The biggest thing, though, was when he ran along that goal line. I'm like, get over the goal line, dude. What are you doing? Like, cross. Come on.
All right, now it's time for my fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Stella Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a JAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010. That's 609-399-1010. Now let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room my fantasy football guru and yours, Brian Hartley. Good morning, Guru.
Good morning. I'll tell you what, I could go for a Maserati ride right about now.
Not with that big van that you have.
I know. What a difference that would be, Billy. You've seen the van. That thing goes 0 to 60 in about 3 minutes.
Pete, have you ever seen Brian Hartley's van?
No, but
it's like this. It looks like a church bus.
Oh, it is.
That's
well,
huge.
he's got the Hartley group.
It's a
12-passenger
van.
Oh my
Right?
goodness. Yeah, that's fine.
Fantasy football guru.
Job done. But a Maserati ride would be great.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll get one, bring it down to Playland and park it in the lot this summer. All right.
Maybe if I win my fantasy leagues, I'll be able to step it up.
Guru, speaking of your fantasy league, let's see what the standings are here. Where do you stand in the
Don't look at that. Don't look.
I'm going to look at that right now because the Guru, you are. Where's the Guru? There you are. Oh, Brian,
I am fighting for a playoff spot at 4-7.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, you are, and I'm not doing. I'm 5-6, Guru. So I got you beat.
Yeah, Billy, you got to look at that bench, though. I mean, I've had so many injuries. It's been incredible. My bench is way better than my starting lineup. And, I don't know. I just can't seem to get it right. I got to get some guys healthy.
Well, and, that's been the thing all year long. Injuries play a huge part in fantasy. And it seems like when you suffer, you sustain like two or more injuries, the waiver wire, there's players on there, but there's not. You got to find a diamond in the rough, and I guess that's where the homework comes in. But it's still so difficult.
It is. I mean, I lost Russell Wilson for a while. DeAndre Swift went down the other day. I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire out for a while. I've had to make other moves to guys that were out. The lone bright spot the other day was Carlson getting 5 field goals for me the other night.
Brian,
you guys there?
Yeah, there you go. All right, so the fantasy now, the 3 games that played over Thanksgiving. I am in I'm in 3 legs. How about this for a score? My opponent is 34.8, and I'm 34.7 right now going into today.
Yeah, well, that's not bad. I mean, there were some guys that had some good games the other day, but again, you had injuries. I'll tell you what, the highlight, I think, of Thanksgiving, believe it or not, was that Dallas Raiders game for a lot of reasons. There was a lot of fantasy value going on there. And in the end, the Cowboys lost. So that's a win for everybody on Thanksgiving.
I got to tell you, Hartley, before he gets into like who you like and stuff, I do not like any league that has 0.35, 0.41. I can't stand any commissioner that doesn't take the time to tweak the league and make it a full frickin' point.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Pete, I've been in those leagues, and believe it or not, with the full point, we've had ties. I'm in a league that has the 10th of values and the hundredths of values, and we've had ties. I tied this year in a league that has tenths of a point. I mean, so it really is incredible, and that's why we switched to it a few years ago, because we were having ties even at whole points, and you're still getting.
And there was no tiebreaker, like you tied on the regular, you tied on the reserves.
No tiebreaker in that league whatsoever. I mean, think about it: 1 yard by any player wins it or loses it for you. Not 1 yard out of 10 guys in your lineup and you still tie. It's pretty incredible, but it does happen.
2 weeks ago, I lost 154.54 to 154.42. Now, I stink at math, but that's a devastating loss. I'm playing Gil today, and I think he's mailing it in, so I feel pretty good about my chances today.
Yeah, I got a guy who's doing the same thing in one league, and I'm hoping he doesn't change his lineup. So we'll see what happens.
So another thing that I said I would never do is pick any Cowboy on my team, and I was forced to pick the Dallas Cowboys defense because of my the defense that I had was on a bye, and they stunk. They didn't even score a point for me.
What are you talking about? Cowboys ran a kick return back the other day.
On this league it says 0.0 Dallas defense.
That sounds like a you problem.
Maybe that's
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
Because it is D/ST, and the ST doesn't stand for, something's trouble. It stands for special teams.
Look, I'm not lying. It says 0-0 right there.
Unless you're in a league that gets negative points for how many points they give up, maybe it all balanced out to
Brian,
zero.
this is our league, Brian, the Playland League.
Highly unlikely.
Brian, this is the Playland League.
He wants to lodge a complaint on the radio.
I'm going to talk to the commissioner, Matt.
I'm gonna have to check this out. I'll investigate for you, Billy.
All right, let's go. It's week 12 in the NFL. Give us your picks, Guru, for week 12 in the NFL.
At quarterback this week, you got to like Russell Wilson. I think he's finally going to get off the schneid here against Washington. I like Tyrod Taylor, who's been playing pretty well. I think today he could have a little feast there against the New York Jets. And I like Matt Stafford today. Same thing. Last 2 weeks been pretty brutal. But today they really need a win. This is a big game going against Green Bay today. So look for Stafford to have to throw the ball. At running back, I am taking Miles Sanders. I think he finds the end zone today against the New York Giants. Cordell Patterson back now going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could have a nice little day. And I'm taking one of my guys today, Melvin Gordon. A little bit of a revenge game today going against his former team, the LA Chargers. So I think Vic Fangio is going to feed him the ball a little bit and try to get him in the end zone so he can wrap one around those guys and a little payback. At wide receiver, Elijah Moore going against Houston. He's been a stud lately. Brandon Ayuk going against Minnesota with Debo getting a lot of the focus. Look for him to get some conversions there. Brandon Cooks going against the Jets. And I like Marvin Jones today against the Atlanta Falcons. Those are my picks for week 12.
All right, fantasy football guru Brian Hartley. The Philadelphia Eagles are up in North Jersey to face the Giants. Of course, this is a big rivalry. There's no love lost, especially after the last game of the season last year. What is your prediction? How do you see this game shaking out today at 1:00?
I am going with the Birds, and I am going 23-17.
23-17. You're one of our closer picks. Mark Grimes is 27-20. Scott Grayson, 31-13. Brad Quas, 28-17. So that's pretty close, Guru.
Yeah, it's a division game, Billy, and the division games always come down to, seem to be a little bit closer games. We'd all love to see a blowout. We'd all love to see the Eagles go in there and run the ball all over the place and put up some points. And lately, that's what they've been doing. But I think it's going to be a little closer. Giants, they've been banged up. Barkley's back, though, and hopefully we can contain him and not let him bust one of those long runs out of there.
All right, fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, we really appreciate you coming in and doing your segment. We love it. And have a great Sunday and the great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, boys. Have a good one.
Take care, Hartley.
There he is, the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Stell Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stell Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stell Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010. 609-399-1010. That's Stell Exteriors. Want to remind people the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. For more information on how to become a member of the Great Bay Country Club, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Down there, Pete. The food's
it's outstanding. The food is outstanding. The people are great. The golf course, they're doing a big renovation on the golf course too, so they're doing a great job down there.
All right. Hey, friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli mid-size sedan and the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like-new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime, MOTML.com.
We're going to use that Maserati, the main line hotline on the other side because our man, Brad Quast, is calling in. So we're going to use that on the other side of the commercial break. But you are listening to The Locker Room with Pete Thompson and Billy Schweim here on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too, because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Those dreams that they have, here we go, winning games. This is that. Yeah, but it's 61 yards. Hold your breath.
Ah. Oh, is that great when Merrill's call at the end of it? It's good.
That's full Merrill. That's what you love, man. That is full Merrill right there. And by the way, Billy, in the commercial break, the inactives came out. So you've got Reed Sinnett, the third string quarterback, no big deal. Jordan Howard, okay, we knew that.
Right.
Tay Gow in that corner that I talked about. Kerry Vincent, Mac McClain, Marlon, I always mess up his name, Tula, whatever. Jared Maiden, though, makes his debut for the Eagles, and you said what to me?
Who's that?
That's exactly what I said, too. He's a 23-year-old safety out of Alabama. Wow. Okay, so here you go.
Champions on that team.
All right, yeah.
Let's go to another champion.
Come on, young fella, step it up.
Let's go to another champion. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room my Saturday co-host, Brad Quast. What's up, Q?
What's up, guys? What you doing?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We're in a 3-point stance because we're getting ready for Eagles-Giants. And you know we had Bart Oates on yesterday, and there's no love lost between these two teams.
No, it's going to be a good game. And I had to call and defend myself. I'm driving down to my game down in Baltimore, and you're talking about the Hawkeyes. I don't know how to count. I got to defend myself.
No,
that wasn't me, Brad.
I was saying actually that you're smarter than me. I'm the one that had trouble with the math. I went to Temple. I went to Temple, and you know where Temple football is right now. Temple football is good.
Yeah, Billy, it should be a good game today, though. It really should. It should be a fun game.
Brad, you said this yesterday. You know, you're a former player. Of course, you played at Iowa as well. There are no easy games in the NFL. I mean, even though like a lot of the pundits say, oh, they got the easy part of their schedule. They got the Giants, Jets, Washington, New York, Washington, Dallas. But, Brad, you told us there's no easy games.
No, there's no easy games. As long as you're getting paid, it's your job and you have pride. And the guys have really pride in the locker room, and they hate losing. You don't want to lose to anybody. And you come out and regardless what your record is, you want to play well. And then when the season is kind of out of reach in terms of extending the season for playoffs, then the guys are playing for themselves for a new contract, and they're going to free agency. So you're always playing hard. You're not tanking it and not worrying about next year.
Well, except for last year, Brad. There is an exception because remember last year the Giants and Joe Judge, their head coach of the Giants, are very upset at the Eagles for being allegedly tanking by pulling out Jalen Hurts at the end of the game or the second half. There's some, there's some bitter. They're bitter.
I think they got a call. They got a call from the commissioner. I think on that one, kind of pulling out and not trying to win every game. To the final whistle. But it's interesting. That's why what makes the league so interesting, and it's the most popular league out there. Everyone loves playing fantasy football and betting games and watching games, and that's why it's the most popular sport in our country.
Now, Brad, you're on your way down to Baltimore. Tell us what you're going to be doing again today. I think your job is pretty interesting. You walk around, you make sure that the players are following all the rules as far as what they wear and if they have the proper equipment on.
Yeah, that's correct. So there's two of us at each stadium, home and away on home side bench and the away team, and you go around and you make sure that the players are properly protected themselves and compliant and wearing the right uniforms in terms of their socks, the different color socks. The Ravens will be purple and white or purple and black and white, and then making sure the jerseys don't cover the Nike logo swoosh. People, all these companies pay millions and millions of dollars for the rights and to be shown on TV, and they want to make sure they're getting their most bang for their buck. So the players, if you don't properly do that, they would kind of do anything they want. And like if you look at college, it looks like the guys are wearing shorts, and there's obviously no one telling them that you got to pull the pants down over your knees to protect yourself. So that's what there's 2 of us at each game, and it's fun. I get to get on the field and then see guys that I played with are coaching, and their kids, guys I played with, their kids are playing now, and get to interact with a lot of folks.
Now, is Baltimore your home stop all the time, or does it rotate from week to week?
No, just every home game down in Baltimore, I'm down there.
Because when I was still on the television, Brad, back in the day, you could be there was different type of credentials. There was one where you could be on the field the whole game, and one where you had to get off when the teams got off at warm-ups, and that was an hour prior to kickoff, when they would go back into the locker rooms and stuff. But I would always see this very nice gentleman up at Lincoln Financial Field, big smile, full suit, always looked great, a top coat. And he'd always come over and have conversations with me. And finally, one time I said to him, "What do you do?" And he says, "Oh, I work for the NFL." And I go, "Well, what do you do?" And he says, "Uniform compliance." And as I got to know him, then he would start to kind of chuckle and he'd say, "See right there? That's going to be a problem." And I go, "Well, do you do you go up and tell him?" And he's like, "Sometimes I try to help him out, and I'll just sort of stand and stare at them until they realize oh bleep, I've got this wrong." And he goes, "And then other times, the people that, I just, it goes in the report."
Yeah, we're not supposed to have any interaction. I'll tell you a quick story. Most of the guys come out at pregame and they're wearing, the tinted visors and then, crazy stuff. And then they know when they go in the locker room, they come out for the coin toss and the regular game starts, they're compliant then. So they kind of mess with you, so a lot of teams do that. Some teams are better compliant than others that obey the rules. Other teams aren't. But a couple of years ago, Terrell Suggs was wearing a tinted visor, and he kept on doing it. And before pregame, I missed the guy, Junie, who I was giving the report to. So I had to go to the locker room, and all of a sudden he comes out of the locker room all lathered up, and I did one guy. It's not me. I'm the messenger. You got to talk to Johnny Runyon about that one. He was.
That's true. John Runyon. There's the vice president of rules. Yeah.
You know what it's like, Q. You know what it's like, Q. You're like Dean Wormer that walks into Animal House, and they're all putting beer cans behind them, and they're trying to hide this and hide that.
And they know, and it's good. I've been doing it so long now. They know what you're doing and what is compliant and what's not. And it's kind of funny to see, but it's crazy though, the protecting the shield. Like I got a call a couple of years ago that it was a preseason game and it was hot, and I got a call from the New York number, and it was someone up in New York and saying you got to move the fan. The big fan is in the way of the Gatorade jug.
Oh, really?
Wow. Millions of dollars for the rights, yeah. And it's things of that nature that people pay a bunch of money to be part of the NFL and the logo and the shield, and they protect it. That's that's why they're 32 billionaires.
That's great.
It's all and it's crazy stuff like that. You'll get one time I got a call because the cheerleaders they didn't have the proper shoes. They were wearing unsanctioned shoes. It wasn't Under Armour or Nike or. I mean, they find it's everything.
Wow.
Even the cheerleaders, huh?
Yeah.
This is some good stuff.
I guess you don't mind inspecting the cheerleaders.
Hey now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I will tell you this, Brad.
Come on, man. Really, we're old guys now.
No doubt. Hey, Brad, he never did talk to the players. He did say that, this gentleman I'm talking about at Lincoln Financial Field. He said, and just like you pointed out, they know who you are. So he said, I'll just sort of stare at them, or I'll arch an eyebrow at them and kind of tilt my head a little. And he says, but you're right. That's become the new trend too, which is like they'll wear cleats, Billy, in pregame to honor somebody that passed away or something like that, or some special cleats. Yep. But then they have to, they can only wear them for pregame. Then they got to go back and switch their shoes to the sanctioned stuff. Yep. Yeah.
All right, Brad. Well, listen, man, we got to run. We got your prediction.
All right.
Yesterday, you said the Eagles are going to win this game 28-17. Looks like everybody so far right on board.
Yeah, right, guys. Hey, I'll see you next week.
Be safe, Brad. Take care, bud.
Hey, how about my Hawkeyes in the Big Ten Championship?
Yeah, how about that? We'll be talking about that next week.
I'll be rooting hard for him, man. I'll be rooting hard for him. Go Hawkeyes.
There he is. Brad Quast on the Maserati, the main line sports hotline. How about that? He gets to inspect everybody. He's going to move the fan away.
It's a fascinating job. That's the of all the stories you told. That's the one that's the funniest. You know, I get this call from 212. It must be New York, and he answers it. They said, "Yo, go over there and move that fan. It's blocking the Gatorade logo."
All right, the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. Play on that 18-hole championship golf course. Enjoy fine dining. Experience lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always, always a great day at Great Bay. Hey, the locker room at Blitz's Market want you to discount your Eagles game day meal. During the Eagles season, get down on game day, get down to Blitz's Market and get your Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Go to Blitz's all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitz's is home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Hey, listen, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll give our predictions and wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, taking you right up to 12 noon with the Eagles pregame show. And then, of course, Mike and Merle with the call right here on 97.3 ESPN at 1 o'clock. PT.
The Giants inactives are out.
The Giants inactives are out.
You're like, who's that actor that they used to say, Ben Stiller's dad, Jerry Stiller on Seinfeld. That's exactly who you are. You'll be like, PT, and I can just hear your gears grinding as you're like, crap. Now, what did we say again? How are we doing this?
I was just spacing it out. I knew what I was going to say.
Spacing or spaced?
Spacing it out.
The Giants inactives are out. They're going to be without Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, and tight end Kyle Rudolph are their weapons. But Saquon Barkley is up. He is playing. So that leads in, segue, to my text message, or one of them, who wants to know. Nick from Brigantine says, who do you guys think will have more total yards, Sanders or Barkley? And initially when I scanned that in the commercial break, Nick, I was thinking rushing yards, but then you wrote total, and I would say total, I think it's going to be Sanders.
Yeah, I think all things being equal, I think Sanders and the Eagles, their run game with the offensive line bodes well for the Eagles.
I mean, look, Sanders is not, he's the Westbrook back, he's the guy out of the backfield. He's not and he also could pop one, he's capable of the home run play, but I actually think that the Giants will try to establish Saquon Barkley, and then they're going to fall behind, and maybe Darius Slay's going to have a pick six or something like that. And I really don't see it being that close. Calvin from Wildwood says Eagles 28, Giants 17. So we appreciate Calvin.
Brad Quast. That's what he put. That's what the Q predicted. All right. Let me give you my prediction. You go last, Pete.
Oh, great.
Okay. Save the best for last.
I'm honored.
So, Pete, I looked at the statistics.
Was that another one of those pauses?
Yeah, man, I'm pacing myself. I'm looking at the statistics. I listened to Bart Oates yesterday.
Okay.
I listened to Brad Quast today.
Okay.
I listened to you. I listened to Scott Grayson.
You listened to me?
Well, I hear you. I think these rivalry games, and I'm looking at the scores of years
the over
past.
And unders 45.5. The line is 3.5.
We had the sportsbook consigliere on yesterday.
It's sunny, chilly, 38 degrees up there.
On Twitter, you follow him on Twitter.
Sorry, sunny, 38 degrees up there.
All right. And I'm looking at the past scores, and this is a rivalry game, so I think it's going to be really close. And I have the Eagles edging out the Giants today.
Okay.
24-23.
24-23, says Billy. All right. I do not think it's going to be close. And the reason I don't think it's going to be close is I think the Giants are circling the drain. First, they fired Jason Garrett because they realized that their offense is inept. And after what they did in their last game, they realized that they had to make a change. I think Freddie Kitchens is probably going to call the plays, the former Cleveland guy. But I think that's a disconnect, right? Secondly, I think that Dave Gettleman's on his way out, the GM up there. It's only a matter of time, right? Now, they're not as dysfunctional as the Bears, who are stupid enough to let a report come out about Matt Nagy before, they even played their Thanksgiving game. But, and there's people out there that think they're going to get a boost from Michael Strahan getting his 92 jersey retired. I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, Bob Papa was on with Mike Gill. You listen, I listen. I was listening to Bob Papa, he's the radio voice for the Giants, and he doesn't think he just is basically, he can't come out and rip his own team, but the Giants are a mess.
And I think this is like Custer's last stand for the Giants. I think they're going to really put on a good effort, put a good effort. It's not going to be enough. The Eagles are going to edge this game out. But, like I said, and like Grayson said, like Quaz said, these games are rivalry games. These games are all close. They're fought so hard down to the nitty gritty. And if you look at some of the outcomes, some of these scores in the past, 22-25, there are a couple of blowouts, 24-27. It's going to be a close game. I think in the end, the Eagles do win.
Right, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Okay.
I just don't see the Giants getting more than 20 points. I have the Birds winning 31-17. I have the Eagles winning big, and that's why when Scott Grayson said 31-13, I almost thought like he was going to match right up to me. Look, as long as the Eagles do what they were doing, which is continue to run the football, which is Jalen Hurts continuing to confuse the defenses, which is Devontae Smith coming out and doing what he does, Dallas Goedert coming out and doing what he does. Throw a blitz in there too. I absolutely think that the start of this game is going to set the tone for this game, and as long as the Eagles come out and set the tone early and do their I said it very early in the show today, paving the lane, right? As long as they run behind that offensive line and do what they're supposed to do, I feel the Eagles win this game and they win it handily.
And Jalen Hurts has rushed for 50 yards in 5 consecutive games, making it the first time an Eagles quarterback has done so since Randall Cunningham in 1990.
One of the things the Giants did too, like when it's not working and everything's broken,
right?
You open it up to anybody. And they asked Saquon Barkley about that, and he said, "Yeah, they came to me and asked me how would I like to be used more in the offense and stuff." Hey, you can collaborate, you can have meetings, you can have discussions all you want. Talent beats talent, and I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles right now are the more talented team, and they're going to show that today up in East Rutherford at MetLife Stadium.
And a good coach usually puts his players in uses their talents, like not trying to force a system on players that can't do what the coach is asking them. Play to the strength of the player.
I actually like Joe Judge. Like, I don't have a problem with him, and he's got Philly ties, and he's a Bill Belichick protege, and I think you can only cook the greatest meal with your ingredients that you have, and
right.
I mean that old adage of don't blame the tools, blame the carpenter, don't blame the carpenter, blame the, whatever way you want to do that. But at the end of the day, I think that this rides on Dave Gettleman is why the Giants are so poor. Now, Saquon Barkley is back. Does he come out and pop one? Does Daniel Jones? I mean, is there some special play?
Is Daniel Jones going to break a long run and then trip over the 20-yard line?
That was outstanding, wasn't it? That was great. And then I'm intrigued to see this new guy. Let's see this, like Jared Maiden making his Eagles debut today at safety. Maybe they got something there, right? And it's just another one of those Alabama guys. He's 23 years old, too, and, by the way.
Who
do these guys get Grayson? So old? I think he's wearing number 41.
Was it Grayson that said that tight end, Dallas Goedert is third among tight ends in the receiving average? So, we got to get the tight end.
Well, that's basically been when Hurts does throw, right. It's either to 6 or Dallas Goedert.
All right.
Smith or Goddard.
PT.
Go Eagles.
Two of the fastest hours in radio right there.
This flew by. Thanks, Billy.
Flew by, man. Pete, I had a great time all weekend working with the PT. A lot of fun.
Josh will be back next Saturday.
I want to thank Scott Grayson, as always, for checking in with his news and notes. Of course, catch him tonight, Sports Sunday tomorrow with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash for Grayson's grades. And then, of course, the fantasy football guru, Brad Quast, Mark Grimes for checking in. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Stay tuned for the Eagles official pregame show, and then Mike and Merle with a call at 1 o'clock. Let's go, Birds. I'll see you next week.